folks, and welcome to my channel. Saturday, the 19th of October, 2024. What do the stars, the cards want to say to you for today? So, we're going to be using the Radiant Rider-Waite deck. I'm also going to be using this interesting deck called the Citadel, a fantasy oracle by Fez Inkwright. Okay, so as usual, we'll start with the tarot first. So, what wants to come through for today? For those watching, guidance, wisdom, inspiration, clarity. I do want to say at this point as well, give yourself some space this weekend, because this moon we've just had, the Aries full moon, is a big one. And I have a feeling it's going to be the gift that keeps on giving. There's going to be a need to process. There's going to be a need to move forward. There's going to be a need to draw a line under certain things, situations, people, stories. And this is for your own mental, spiritual, physical well-being. Many of you already know that and just need it confirming. We're going to find as we go through these moons that more and more we're really going to have to meet the moon halfway. And it's not just with the moons, it's with the solstices, the portals, etc., the equinoxes. Let's see what the cards have to say. Oh, rest, retreat, breathe. Four of Swords, the Three of Swords here, which is a Three of Swords card, which is the heart with the three swords in. And this is the truth, the Ace of Swords that wants to come in to help you through that. So you've been shown a truth. You've honestly, this moon feels like it could even be a dark night of the soul for many people. And what it feels like this weekend is a real retreat. But it's not a slump retreat. It's not a slam out of the room retreat. It's a deep spiritual inward retreat, if that makes sense. Um, you will possibly find you'll be having many deep thoughts. Um, Six of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, balancing what we give, what we receive, but also as well, what I'm feeling is that as we go through these transitions, we are going to have to step more and more into our self-empowerment and sovereignty. We cannot be this. Neither can we be this, where we've got people begging or taking from us. We've got to meet in the middle where the scales are. Can you see that with me not going like that? Can you see where the scales are? Meet in the middle. You don't want to be here where you're needy and you're just, do it for me, do it for me, do it for me. Neither do you want to be this dude here where you're doing for everyone, being the savior. No, 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 no. This is about balance. And maybe there's some karmic balance here between you and other people. This is about bringing in balance. I like that. Very deep. Overwhelm, Seven of Pentacles. There is a real feeling with this moon of, and I want to ask you, have you blown yet? This moon has brought up such stuff that has been painful. It's needed to come up. And it may have been purged via arguments, anxiety, overwhelm, frustration, that kind of thing. Argumentative, physical, sweating, toilet visits, vomiting even. Overwhelm. It's a do you know, as we go through this change in time and the Schumann and all of the geostorms, and as we ascend, awaken, and come back to oneness, the days of do is going. We're not going to be able to do corporate life anymore. We're not going to be able to run up your own arse anymore. We're not going to be able to run after other people anymore. When we step into that energy of doing that, that old programming, we're going to get a wallop from the universe. The universe is going to remind us that we can't do it anymore. You're required with this reading to not let yourself get to that stage. And it's about reading your body. We know that when our body starts to get overwhelmed, why that is. So, Seven of Pentacles, is about not letting yourself get to that stage. Eight of Wands is coming through to take you through something. Two of Pentacles. It's what I call my. I always do that with two, but it does my. Do you know, if I watched me and I saw me pull this card out, I'd get triggered because I know she's going to do it again. It would trigger me watching me. Two of Pentacles. I'm surprised no one, because no one's commented, to be honest. Anyway, move on. Two of Pentacles. It's what do I want? It's also what I call my seesaw card of old you becoming you, you stuck in the middle of you, having to purge and realign, purge, realign, purge, realign. It feels like we're having to balance so much. We're having to ride the waves with this, ride the waves and balance so much. It's almost like, does the universe really require me to be like this? Because usually I've been so used to being like that. The tower, the big clearing. This moon we've just had the fairies. The fairies are playing a role in this moon. This new moon we've had, Aries, supermoon, it's come in to do a job. It's almost like I can see spirit and they're like, whoa, we knew this was coming. And it was just interesting to watch humanity go through what we've just gone through. And it'll go, as the moon, further away it gets, the weaker it gets. But then guess what? You start building up for the next cycle. Um, it feels like there's something that's come up for everyone. And it could be big stuff, it could be not so big stuff, depending on where you are, what you're going through. It's the clearing. It's the clearing. This stuff has had to be said. It's had to be experienced. It's had to happen for something to step in. Our place in the world and self-confidence. Again, we're going to be required more and more to step into this, to step into our self-worth, our strength. We're still dealing with this, the trickery card, the Seven of Swords. You're still going to get people in your life trying to trick you, manipulate you, blindside you. Discernment, discernment, discernment. Boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. If you're not sure, step back, say no, draw a line under it. Because as we're moving through these energies, there's going to be aspects of us that doesn't want to move through them. There's going to be aspects of other people that doesn't want to move through them. There's going to be people that downright don't want to move through them, and they're going to try and on you. Um, this isn't about being cold and callous here. This is about being aware of it. Yeah, Queen of Swords comes in. No more, no more cutting those ties. No more fooling yourself, little old me. No more thinking, look at me, I'm weak and feeble. No more thinking, we are alchemists, and the more that we go through these moons, the more that we've got to be careful what we say. I'm hopeless, I'm helpless. My illness, my anxiety, my trauma, my all of this owning all of the bad stuff. What we deal with and what we put up with others. This moon has been interesting. Um, the Queen of Swords has come in with this moon to clear so much out. It's about making clear decisions going forward so we can see a clear ahead. The Two of Wands, so I can see clearly. Whatever you've gone through over these past few days with the full moon, however dark night of the dark night of the soul it's got, God. Because whatever's come up for you, that is going to be your greatest teacher. It's clearing the way. And it's interesting how on my desk, that card was like that and that card was like that. Because this has had to happen so you can see clearly. Um, it's now giving it a chance and allowing it, listening to it, working with it, having fun with it. I've got the world in my hands. I can achieve something. I'm supported. I'm a creator. My horizons are growing. There's going to be parts of what we're going through where your world feels like it's shrinking. Things are coming up. Maybe you're losing friends, maybe you're losing family members, maybe you're losing clients and colleagues and all of that. It's got to be like that. It's got to be like that because you've got to do the losing bit for you to open your true horizons. This is a real death and rebirth moment, and we're going to have more of these as a collective. So something's got to die for something to be rebirth. The problem is when we grip hold of it, when we go into fear, when we go into lack. This is a really, 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 really interesting energy. The chariot wants to come in and take us forward now. Whatever's come up during these past few days, process it, discuss it, talk about it, journal it, talk to a trusted friend, relative. But there's going to have to be a moment where we breathe and let it go. Yes, the Emperor. I mean, how many major arcana here? One, two, three, four. Four major arcana. The Emperor doesn't sit on his throne talking about old stories, old traumas, old pains. He sits in his power. This is a real leveling up. It's a real leveling up energy. Um, just yeah, the illusion. Some of you may be dealing with people that are maybe using their age, their power, their seniority over you. They're wielding their power. Maybe it's a parent, maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's your next door neighbour. See what's just happened to me. We've got an old couple next door, and I think this is a tangent coming. The man that lived here, the old man was older than them, and I think they used to kind of have, not intimidate him, but he had these walls built years ago because he was the first one to move in, and he had their open plan houses, you see, so we had these walls built, and it impeded on their drive a little bit. And when we moved in, the walls were really loose, so we had to get them all knocked down and all open planned again. Um, but they still put their bins there. And anyway, when the old man comes to use his bins, he's going somewhere, I promise you. He slams the lid down. And I was just in the hallway, and our bathroom goes out onto the drive, not obviously literally. And I was just talking to Gary, and whoosh, and I went, "Oh my God!" I went, "That bloody bin." Not realizing that the bathroom door's open and the window, and he heard me, and then literally he went whoosh again. He's in his late 70s, and I just said, this is just a perfect example of what's going on right now. Just blatant intimidation. I will do what I want. I will say what I want. I am older than you. And I said, when people behave like that, they're so lucky they've got someone like us here. Because I grew up on a council estate, and I said this to Gary, there were some right wide boys on that council estate that'd flip at that wouldn't take 'em much. Anyway, do you see what I mean? So it could be a boss, it could be a dad, it could be a granddad, it could be your next door neighbour. There is this real you know, and yes, you know what I mean? What's coming up? The burden. The burden with it. Let's see what comes up again. The Knight of Swords, feeling overwhelmed by it. Let's see what comes up again. Yeah, this rigidity. Right, what do we do? Because I know this is happening in client sessions. I know many of you are struggling with this with other people. What do we do? And I know that is small fry compared to what some of you are dealing with. What do people do? How do we navigate when we're dealing with people that are stuck in their ways, using their age, illness, seniority to intimidate, manipulate, and control? Can we have guidance for those watching and myself? Temperance, balance. We've got victory at the bottom. That tells me we can get through it. Was it Brené Brown? Let them, or was it what's her name? God. Anyway, gonna do my head in now. What her name? The other one that likes to do influential stuff. Temperance and let them. There are people at the minute that want to be victorious over everybody else. Allow them to think that they're being victorious. The world, because things are changing, the world is changing. And I think as well, a lot of this is because they know it's changing. So you're going to see a lot of people wanting, it's what I call the last hurrah. Um, they're wanting to hold on, they're wanting to hold you back. Page of Swords, yeah, toxicity coming up. Boundaries, boundaries, having to defend yourself. The Fool, you have to carry on your life regardless. You have to carry on your life regardless. Because otherwise, you're just going to keep yourself stuck and them stuck. The Moon, this is a shadow phase that we're having to purge. And some people can't be reached. Some people cannot be reached, and they maybe not be able to be reached in this lifetime. But this is about surrounding yourselves with good, decent, wholesome people. You may not be able to do a lot about these people that are doing this, but where your power is getting a network around you of good, decent, wholesome people. And that's how you break through of it. Ace of Wands. It's not cowering down, but at the same time, it's not me opening the door and saying, "What are you doing?" Although a little part of me felt like doing it. I felt old Claire came up for 5 minutes. I was like, "Ooh, interesting. Come on." And then I realized it wasn't going to be clever, big, or funny. Um, it's about, you know what? I'm not going to let your drama, your irritation, your demons, your invisible friends in your head impede my happiness. I can't, I'm not here to save you. I'm not here to rescue you. I'm not here to heal you. If you think that you're here to heal your family, that you're here to heal your boss, that you're here to heal your client, you're very sadly mistaken. Nobody heals you apart from yourself. So you're never going to heal your dad. You're never going to heal your mum. You're never going to heal Barbara next door. You're never going to heal anyone. This is who you're going to heal. Okay. Some people just need to work through their shite. They need to have this. They need to experience this. And this loss of self and outcast energy is because they've lost the connection with their sense of self. And Queen of Wands going forward. It's about picking yourself and dusting yourself down. You were meant to take your mum to bingo today. Drop her off at bingo or drop her off at Barbara's for coffee. And you've woke up this morning and you're full of cold, you don't feel well. So you've rung her and said, "I can't take you today, Mum. I don't feel well. I feel really ill." Number one, don't over explain. Number two, when she kicks off, either aggressively, passive aggressively, or manipulates you or tries to manipulate her, it is really only words. Let her. It's fine. Carry on. Boundaries. Boundaries, boundaries. What you don't do is you don't go, "Oh God, I've got to get me coat on," and carry on doing it and then talk about it all day and then just harbour resentment. You've got to be firm but kind. "I'm not well, Mum. I can't do it today." Um, yes, but I can look at a taxi firm for you so you can get a taxi. Hey, what? I'm 80 years old. How dare you? It's not funny, Claire. It's not funny. But anyway, can you remember the war generation that used to bring that up? They used to bring the war up. "I fought in a war." Can you remember that? I remember working in a nursing home in the 90s and the war generation was still here. I think we may have still even had some of the First World War. And oh my God, if something didn't go their way, did it not come up? Brought Hitler down? No, you don't. Yeah, and I remember just watching people do it. And obviously it was mainly the men that did it. I fought in two battles for this. If it wasn't for me, I would not be alive today. This nursing home is not run properly. We need it to run like a battlefield. You'd see them with their children as well doing it. Interesting. The air, the air, unseen potential hesitation, the air, the air inherits. What are we inheriting? The sleeper at the bottom, cause and effect, clarity. So much I could say with that air card. What are you inheriting? As you step more and more into your power as your king or your queen, as the king or queen of your life, how are you going to rule your life? Are you going to be weak and feeble and somebody else comes in to run your show? Are you going to be toxic and intimidating and bullshit and all of that? Or are you going to be in the middle? Growth. This is a very deep deck, is this the vengeance? Overcoming slight's a choice. Maybe you're dealing with a parent that's dangling inheritance over you. There's a lot of that as well. Horrible. Some of the stories I hear, it's horrendous. The vengeance, overcoming slights, a choice. There's a real energy out there of air and spare. Not naming any names, as in I make your shit. And I'm not saying airs do that. Oh, because he's gonna get into very, very controversial territory, Claire. Um, there's an energy out there of I know everything, you know nothing. Okay. I make your shit. Maybe you're dealing with siblings that are I am the heir of the family. I am the older one. Maybe you're dealing with a boss that's into their boss energy. Maybe you're dealing with a mum in Mums and Tots. It's just the perfect mum, or a sister that's just the perfect sister, but she's not. The vengeance energy, this toxicity energy, this overriding, controlling energy. Um, Overcoming a choice. You have a choice with these people. Now, you can, in some case, you can walk away clean cut. That's it, done. You can put firm boundaries in. You can get up here into the noggin, the head, and decide what you're going to take on of other people's. And this is why Claire always goes on about having a strong sense of self. Because if you don't have a strong sense of self, these people will get into here, they will get into your consciousness, your energy field, and they will tie you in knots. Literally, look what's happening here. Tying in knots, binding you. Wow. The fate. And look at that, cutting ties. Puppet master energy. Who's the puppet master in you? Accepting help and guidance as well. Accepting help from people and guidance. The smith, overthinking and taking action. There's a big difference between thinking deeply and overthinking. One more card. Should we do two more? We'll do two more. The muse, generosity and naivety. There's a thing with this reason that I'm picking up on. This moon has brought up a lot of past stuff for people, recent past, long term past. And you may be looking at that and going, oh, God, why did I do that? Why did I say that? Oh, all that kind of stuff. You got to stop doing that. You've got to stop doing that. That you were just you were naive. And there's nothing wrong with being naive. There's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. There's nothing wrong with making a mistake. Again, the false matrix wants you to think there's everything wrong with that. Generosity, treating yourself this weekend, treating yourself to something soul fulfilling, coming back round to community with like minded people, the priest, perseverance, and faith. Never before have we needed faith like we do now. Your connection to source, your connection to higher self, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, your connection to the Godhead. Um, Faith, a faith that we daily practice. I'm not talking about Bible classes, but if that works for you, great. I'm talking about daily meditation, daily exercise, watching what we're eating, watching what we're watching. Are we connecting in with our guides on a day-to-day basis? I'm going to keep pulling the patron, mentorship, and finances. So needing to restudy. This could be actual physical courses, or it could be the study of your own evolution, the orator, communication, and confidence. I'll tell you what I've just done, right? Now I've got a Claire Thackeray Reads, which is a booktube channel. Well, I've always thought I am terrible at reading out loud. So anyway, I went and bought the book The Worst Witch, which is the 50th edition. And on that channel, I'm doing Vlogtober, which is a video every day of October. And I'm pre-filming a lot of it, like 3 or 4 videos in front, then getting them all ready to put out. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll read The Worst Witch out loud as story time with Claire. And last night I was like, why did I say it? Why did I say it? Why did I say it? I'm going to be shit at this. Why did I say it? Why did I say it? So I sat down there in my little corner there, my little nook. And you know what? I was like, ugh, press play on the camera. And as I got into it, I was like, oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. It made me slow down my speech because the thing is, when you work with the shamanic guides, they can work quite fast. And when you channel, it can come quite fast, which is why sometimes we can talk really fast when we're doing these videos. But it made me slow down my speech, made me think because I knew that I couldn't read it like a dipstick for people watching. And I loved it. And I filmed 4 videos for it. And I'm doing it a chapter a day. And communication and confidence. So many times we think we're rubbish. I was going to say shit, but so many times we think we're rubbish at something, when in actual fact we're not. It's just we've not been in the right place. We've not given ourselves the space to do it. We've not given ourselves the time to do it. We've not allowed that aspect of us to come out. And I could have very easily gone, I know I said I'd do it, but I'm not gonna. I won't mention it on the channel. They'll forget I said it. But I didn't. I sat there and thought, if this is really bad and I stutter through it and I'm silly with it and it just doesn't work out, I can delete it. I'm in charge at any time. And I think there's so much in that, have more confidence in yourself. And I was doing, I thought, I feel like I could get better at doing that. So anyway, I've said on this channel, it's going to be a regular thing. Story time with Claire, and we're going to do it with old. I'm going to work through the whole Worst Witch series. Um, and it's not just for children. It's actually for adults with inner child needing inner child healing, because there's comfort when you're read aloud a children's book. It can really bring comfort. So even if you're not really following the book, but the way that I read the book, once upon a time, Claire Thackeray had pigtails and blue eyes, and she went to primary school in Leeds. There's something in that can really calm down the nervous system. So if you need a bit of that, obviously when you go over there now, if you're watching this at the time of filming, which is Saturday the 19th, I think, of October, pre-filming, it's not going to be on there. It's going to be 2 or 3 days before it gets on there, but they're going to be on there possibly around about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. They'll start coming on. I'm going to do more of it because I actually think that's going to be a real help to people with nervous disorders, anxiety, childhood pain and trauma, because to just have me sat there casually on and just reading it very slowly with a little bit of fun. It's all about the nervous system. Anyway, get on to that Claire Thackeray Reads. Whilst I'm here, also as well, look at our other channel, the Thackeray's, where we're doing vlogs out into the countryside. We've done big houses. We're doing a bit less of that in the future. We've just done a woodland walk with ambient sounds in it, the crunching of the leaves, the twittering of the birds. We do natters. So you feel like, say, if you're feeling really lonely, people sit down with me and Gary on YouTube and we have a natter and we can just talk about anything. And again, it brings community in. So the links to those YouTube channels are below. It's all free. You just have to watch a few ads. But so what? You know, it's all stuff you can do from the comfort and the safety of your own front room. Story time with Claire. Do you read 50 Shades of Grey? I'm only joking. The Queen, determination and sacrifice. You know what? We started this reading as the air. No tangents, no rabbit holes, the air, and we finished off as the queen. And what that tells me is one day you will step into your true sovereignty if you listen to your soul, if you listen to good mentors, good spiritual teachers, good wholesome friends and family members. If you use the traumas as your greatest teachers, one day you can go from being air with the crown dangling in the air, AIR, to being the queen with her sword. Let's be having it. I'm going to do another card. Aspirants, ambition, diligence, and setbacks. But we can ride the waves. The keys to your future. Well, what a reading that was. What a tangent. That probably possibly a 3-hour read. Thank you very much for watching this channel. Please do like, comment, share, and subscribe if you would like more content. And please do go on to Claire Thackeray Reads, which is a booktube channel. So if you like books, I've got loads of ideas for that channel, this channel, and also the Thackeray's. Also, there is my Instagram, there is my Facebook, there is my Threads, there is my website for booking sessions down below. And I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye.